Hey everybody, it's Frank. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a few days. How you guys all doing? Anything exciting to talk about? Today I'm just jumping on here. Maybe something will inspire me, but... So yeah, last couple of days, crazy market action, Bitcoin went, oh my lord, and then sort of recover, whatever. There's all sorts of crazy news going on, drones this, and we need money for the government, but we're spending it on useless bull crap, right? Crazy, just kind of went, hold my beer, and then some other crazy came on, and he said crazy, oh wait, I'll hold my beer too, and what used to be crazy just a few years ago is not crazy anymore. It's like, geez, oh Pete. It's like they're outdoing each other. Like this is like some egomaniac outdoing thing. So anyway, so I had ended up was whatever. Like I'm trying to remember the last time I did a video. Tuesday, Wednesday. Anyway, so those last couple of days. I was doing, a lot of stuff around the house, so I considered it my work vacation, right? So, I wasn't, busting my butt, but it wasn't just, sitting on my butt either. So, I'm kind of, doing this, doing that, cleaning here, cleaning meaning, straightening things up, getting things in kind of in order. There's a bunch of organization I'm going to probably be doing over the winter, so, but I had some things that I kind of wanted to do. And most of that is pretty much done. The magic room's pretty much ready to go. Just got to put the, everything I just got to put the boxes away, and then the real work begins. Consolidating where all the sets are at, so then at least all the cards from one set are in there, and then we got to, organize it by color, and then eventually probably by, whatever. It's by alphabetical, number, whatever. So we'll worry about that when we get to it. There's no big rush. If you guys can actually see, right there, these are some old magic boxes I need to open up. I actually have another channel that I used to open stuff up, but not many people were watching it, but, so yeah, they've been sitting here for a while. It's one of those things that's once I start opening, I'll just start opening too many of them, so it's just kind of one of those, I want to savor it, right, so, but anyway, with that aside, yesterday, Friday, I was actually able to hang out with a couple of friends of mine. One guy, we had lunch, and then we kind of went to Walmart. I'm looking for these Magic the Gathering tins that are only at Walmart. And I've been to two other ones, and they didn't have them. And I actually found them at this one. There's three of them, but I was only able to find two of the different ones. So, I don't know. There's one that's elusive. I went to another one. I went to my other buddy. And after him and his son, we played 2 games. And after that, there was one near his house. I went there, and they didn't have anything. So, they didn't have any magic whatsoever. So, anyway. Yeah. I guess what I'll just say is, today, right? Today's Saturday. So, I've been trying to say, hey, on the weekend, don't feel like you need to do anything. So, I've been trying to, do more fun stuff. So I'll probably sit down, play one of my video games, probably Stellaris. I've been playing that for a while. I think I told you guys before, I bought some DLCs for that. So I got, it's kind of once I get into a game, I kind of focus on that for a while, and then sometimes it's all of a sudden, the motivation just dies, and then I'll go into another one. So I have Baldur's Gate 3, and I really like that game, but I kind of messed one thing up, so I kind of have to go back and on an old save. And it's oh gosh, there's 2 or 3 hours that I gotta kind of have to replay. Is it critical? I don't know. It's my first playthrough, so I'm kind of enjoying it as I go through it. That game can be immersed, meaning once I get into it, it's I'll just, before I know it, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm what? And you guys did see Hearts of Iron. It was ironic is that's on my channel, and I have not played it since. Can you believe that? I have not played that game since. I'm still playing America on that one, so I do want to get back to that. But I've been on this, kick on Stellaris. It's actually similar to Hearts of Iron. You guys probably don't even care about all this stuff. I'm just gonna go into it because we don't really have much topics to discuss today. I kind of have something that I'll kind of bleed into it, so I'll just briefly describe. So Stellaris is kind of like the Hearts of Iron 4 game that I have, but instead of it being like on just World War II in general, this is actually you actually make a we'll call it a galactic civilization. So I'm actually playing as the basically Earth. I think they describe it as United Nations of Earth or something like that. But so you build you can actually colonize planets because you actually end up finding faster than light travel, right? So because between these planets it would take forever even at the speed of light, so you actually have to go faster. So it's all kind of theoretical, but it's sort of you build a galactic civilization. You got like laws. You can just change your government, and you got leaders, and then you build certain things to get different resources, and it's actually very resource intensive because you need one resource and you need to refine it, and it's like a couple so there's a lot of moving parts. I like it a lot because it's kind of like, all right, I want to be that general, right, or the high command in World War II, and this kind of takes it to the nth level because now it's okay, so now I'm fighting basically a war or struggle. You don't necessarily have to always be at war. But in this particular run through, I ended up making my own federation. You can actually have like a federation, right? Like an alliance, right? So, and I'm leading that. And then I'm actually there's also kind of like, I don't want to call it a UN for worlds, but they call it a galactic community. And actually it's ironic because my civilization is actually like the lead in that, and then the lead in the Federation. And it's actually quite ironic. There's always these like civilizations that are like trying to claim my space, and they're like, in comparison, I can just blow them out of the water, right? But they keep like suckering me into these other wars, and I'm just like, stop, stop pissing me off. So so in this game, I've been having to build more military and fleet. And I normally don't. I normally focus on, political, right, win hearts and minds type of thing, and concentrate on my economics. But so I kept getting dragged into these like wars, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna build a big old fleet. So if someone, if they do it, I'm just gonna wipe them all out. And so there's like two civilizations that they're like my vassals, right? So I don't own them, right? But they're kind of like, I don't want to say my puppets, right? So it's just like, all right. So instead of conquering them. But now they're all kind of nice and getting along. So there's a couple of civilizations that are just like technologically much superior than me. They call them fallen empires. And so one of them I'm like borderline about to be able to take them on, but it's a game. Anyway, with that said, that long-winded discussion, I wanted to just say, hey, maybe, today's message is just kind of focus on relaxing. I think in previous videos, you guys know, like, I have a hard time. I sometimes have a hard time fully relaxing. Even when I say I'm relaxing, it's like I'm not relaxing. It's just like a slider bar of like, if this is maximum, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm relaxing, and I really need to be over here, right? And I always feel like once I get here, I just feel like I'm, what's the word? Like, wimp, or, just not being on point, right? Like I'm slacking off or something like that, but I need to go here. It's only because, like, I tend to, like, wherever I'm at, I'm, like, stuck there, right? So if I need to be here, right, to get my life done, right, I don't want to be way over here, because going back might be a problem, right? It's like a train, right? That's why I think I made that discussion or comparison in my video before. How I kind of, it's hard to go from one extreme to the other because it just takes me forever to get there. So it's like I need to relax, but I don't want to relax too much because then I got to get, a couple weeks later, I'm going to be right back into it. So sometimes I'm like, all right, so maybe I just make myself so darn busy, I don't know I'm busy. Right? You end up getting so stressed, you don't know that you're stressed, and then you try. Yeah, so today I encourage you to take a time out, right? Do the things that you enjoy. And that's what I'm going to try to do today. And I know I will to some degree. And it's like I've almost been here, on my vacation? It's been almost 2 weeks. And I feel like I'm just starting to finally go, oh, my guard's like a little, I'm not as, the anxiety's come down a lot, and the stress. And you know. So now I kind of feel like I'm starting my vacation, even though it's almost taking me almost taking 2 weeks, right? And that's why during the week I didn't want to get too focused on doing a whole bunch of work. Because then it's like, all right, I kind of want to do some of this work, but I kind of want to. So during the week, it's like work, but kind of fun at the same time, right? So I'm trying to have that balance, so at least I don't feel so stressed over this period of time. So if you're like me and you're kind of a go-getter, and it's like you have a hard time letting go of like just like and then sometimes you feel like, oh, what's the point, right? Why am I doing this? Playing this video game, right? So so you gotta almost like have conversations with yourself, or at least like kind of. It's kind of weird. It's like you're almost like planning your own relaxation. And I know I have a few friends that are they kind of can relate a little bit like that, and maybe you can relate to that, right? If you don't have that problem, it's probably more of a blessing than a curse, right? But the flip side is always possible, right? Where I know if I do this long enough, I'll be in the like, what's work, right? Like I don't want to, like there's dishes piling up in the sink and it looks like a film. I mean, I've never been like that, right? So I know like I'll never let myself go to that. But I know some people have have the opposite concern, is that they can't get motivated, right? Or sometimes or it's like burnout. I call it burnout, right? So that's another part of the maybe today, is that you want to make sure you don't get to that point. I've been burnt out many times throughout my life. And it actually is not. It actually does more harm than anything. And then once you get to it and you recognize it, it's really hard to get out of, or at least you almost like shut down as a person. Like you just shut down. It's like your personality's you're fried. All your circuits are, and it's like you don't even know how to start to repair anything. You might be both mentally, physically, and spiritually just burnt out. And you don't want all three. You want maybe one to be slightly, and then recognize it. And I think that's the biggest key. And maybe I need to take my own medicine, right? Like I need to regiment, or kind of, I don't want to say schedule, but I don't know. Maybe I got to use that word, right? And maybe that helps you. I don't know. Maybe you don't have this much of a. Comment below. Is this a problem? Is it not a problem? Is it kind of a problem? For me, I kind of like, I don't want to say like, oh, it's not a problem. But in the same breath, it's not a major problem, right? So, but I've had those cases in my life where it's like I didn't even know it was a problem. Once it became a problem, it was a major problem. And it's one of those things where it's like life kicks you in the butt and you got to learn by experience. So, with that said, sorry if this was a little winded. And, I know it wasn't like the greatest video of all time, but, the holidays, Christmas is almost here. I call it Christmas, right? Merry Christmas, all right? There are other holidays around there, and that's fine, right? But we, especially for me, I celebrate Christmas, right? So I will say Merry Christmas to all y'all. We'll come on the next couple of days. I'm seeing my mom on Christmas Eve, so we might do a quick video on Christmas Eve or first thing Christmas. I got stuff under the tree, like I told you guys before, so I don't know. You guys want to see it? Me open, it's almost like just stuff under the tree. It's like none of it's like really wrapped, so it doesn't. Yeah. Anyway, with that said, have a good day, have a good weekend, whatever you do, and make sure to get your recharge, relax, let go. If you have a hard time letting go, like me, just be like, all right, forget it. If this whole weekend I don't do a darn thing, I'm gonna be like, hey, mission accomplished. With that said, see you later, everyone.